the game as a whole?
Congratulations to Northern. I think Schicker has to be pretty happy with what he saw out of his group. You know, my message probably going into the team would be, fellas, these guys are picked to finish second in the league, and you're toe to toe with them. So I think they'll be a really good team in a month, and I think they look like a pretty darn good team to me out there tonight. So as they tighten some things up, and really, I thought they played a really good structured game, and I thought they transitioned the puck really well. They dominated the face-off circle. I think they really won the compete part of the game, and if you're doing that consistently, you know, the more that you're in those tight areas, winning those battles and turning that into offense, the better you'll be. So I was proud of the way he played. We probably would have liked our team to play more like that. Within our group, a couple guys stood out for me. I thought our goaltending was pretty good. And I thought that Victor Herdig and Casper Vaharadio were phenomenal in the game. You know, you saw what Casper does. He took it on about the last 10, 12 minutes and said they're not getting this puck off the wall, and ended the hockey game. I thought their compete level was extremely high. I thought Ollie Bezic played a good game back there on D for us. Other guys competed, but overall effectiveness in the game, I thought those guys kind of really emulated what we're trying to get across. And up front, you know, I really liked what we saw out of, and it always comes to this, Nordy, Laurie Raymond, those guys are trying to get in the lineup. You know, they're trying to stay. They see new guys come every year. They play the game the right way. Drew penalties in the third period. I thought that Philip Franco played the game the right way for us. He got the puck off the wall, did some indirects and things like that. I thought Baker played a pretty good game for us tonight. I think he got the first goal, if I'm not mistaken, in the hockey game. I think overall he played a pretty good game and laid it out there pretty good. And I thought Elias Jansen played a good hockey game for us. You know, you can see his hockey IQ. And then I look at our team, and I thought our power play, you can see where we have a confidence with regards, and I don't even know if confidence is the right word, but we like the skill level of some of our players. We think we have a decent degree of skill, and you see that in the power play. You know, the puck movement was good, the power play decision making was good in the power play when there's time and space. And where the game is played, though, is when you don't have time and space, 5-on-5. So when these guys have time to make a play and can do that, we're pretty good. But what we got to do is we got to get. I think the biggest thing that we have to get better at is you know, our overall hardness and compete through the lineup. When we have time, we can make plays, but teams aren't going to give you time. And again, I think that Northern will be a tough team to play in a month. They were tough enough to play right now, let alone when those guys figure out how to consistently create offense within the way that you know, they're trying to do it. So they're trying to figure it out. That was their first taste of it, and I would say coming out of it is, you know, we would have hoped to come out with it probably more of a feeling that Northern has in their locker room right now than a feeling that we have.
The forwards had a little bit of trouble dropping back to cover for the D, who would go in deep. Is that just more of them trying to get used to a new system at the college level, or?
Are you talking about on the forecheck in the offensive zone? No, that's. I mean, it could be, but that's floating. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's, again, you know, you want to see everybody in the picture. You want to see everybody climbing, and and Northern did a really good job of playing. They were creating more pressure than we were. The first guy creating that pressure was much more effective than our first guy was, with the outside, you know, with the exception of some guys that I've named. Like Nordy drew a few penalties, he did a lot for us. You know, we need him. We need Nordy. Nordy's one of, you know, the same guy as Ray Bryce, one of our coaches now. I mean, those guys win you hockey games, which I think they did tonight. You know, they drew the power plays that 2 times in a row that got us those power play goals. So I know what you're saying. That's reading a play and understanding and simplifying the game and playing inside coverage. So very astute on your part. We want our D to be aggressive when they have the coverage, when they have the support, and the support has to want to get involved in the game as well. So we have a lot of work to do. And especially with guys that are going to get considerable ice time. That's the learning part of the game. Putting passes together. We didn't do that well. They kept us to the outside. They gave us the outside ice. We took it, and then they attacked us and put the pressure on us. And then they really, I thought, dictated the way they wanted to play tonight for the most part. Especially the last 50 minutes. I thought the first 10 was probably a little different. And once they settled in a little bit, I was, that's what I saw in the game, anyways.
Is it a positive to get a couple power play goals out of this group early on here and have them feeling good about themselves? Yeah,
but my message to the team today, ironically, when I talked to them, last year we had guys going into probably that last stretch, that last 8 or 9 games where we, got hot and were dominant and things like that. We had guys, including our top end guys, that might have had, 27, 20, 29, 30 points, but they were minus 4, 5, 6, 7 on the year. They're minus players. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas what I asked the guy, say, if you're a 30, 35 point guy, what should you be? Plus 10 minimum? You know what I mean? If you're plus 10. So if we're getting points on the power play and we don't get many power plays and guys are minus 5 on 5, it's the same thing we had last year. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to compete and win the 5 on 5, which will draw even more power plays, which will allow that power play to get to work. So, I liked the power play. I think that you made a great point on the reading of the play and on getting inside positioning and playing in harder ices. And but that's just what I like. I just think over my time and. Very fortunately, we've won a lot of games in the last 10 years when I've been here, and when I think when we get the locker room to respect and appreciate the way that some guys I've named play, it'll help their game. It'll help their game, and then at the end of the year, they're not like, well, why didn't I develop? Well, I mean, what do you want us to do? We want to, keep working at it, keep competing, and it starts with compete. Tanner Carroll was a great pro and is still a great pro because, he had great offensive ability, but not only that, he had great defensive ability. And when he got to the NHL, he was a guy that they could call up on a budgetary status and play anywhere in the lineup and penalty kill and be able to play on your power play. And that's what has given him the career that he's had because, you got the Bedards and you got all those guys. But Tanner's made a really good name for himself because of his IQ, his competitiveness, how he was very much like Nick Lidstrom as a defenseman, playing inside his coverages and everything like that. And again, by inside coverage, I mean, when there's pressure on the puck, we need our first guy to do a job and the guys around them to be the guys that get the loose pucks. And if they're chasing our D and we turn it and throw it up the wall and their guy's the first guy to get it and we throw it right into them, now we're chasing the play. Plus, they probably have eliminated the guy the defenseman that threw the puck up the ice. So that's where you get in trouble. Then you play a whole shift in your zone. So, we'll get it. We'll get it. The guys power play was good. I thought the skill's good. I thought our compete guys were the guys probably that pulled that one out for us. Our power play was good. Our skill guys in that regard, and so that's what everybody looks at. But when you're on the bench, you're looking at the guys that were diving around eating those pucks when that 6-on-4 and things like that. So that's what you're looking at.
Max and Derek had their ups and downs throughout the entire game. Do you plan on platooning them this season so far until you find a true number one? Or
I didn't see that. I thought that they were.
I mean, like a few instances of like a puck getting away here and there, but they were both really solid.
Yeah, I thought that they were both good. You look at did they have 2 power play goals tonight? How many did they have? Oh no! The one was right at the end of our power play.
Yeah.
So we gave him that 2-on-1. Now, I think that Derek would probably like that one back. I'll give you that one. But the 6-on-5, goalies out of his or 6-on-4, and then the goal that Max gave up again. I thought that was a very poorly defended rush. Poorly defended rush that we'll show on video and watch that, but they got in and we didn't track well and they got another 2-on-1 in behind us, and so I thought our goaltending was pretty good. I think if I had to give the edge on it overall, that who I thought was more comfortable, I'd say that Max looked like he was in control pretty good, handled the puck pretty well, and but I thought they both played very well. I mean, the other side of it is Northern got better and better as the game went on, so Molly was seeing probably a little bit better team as the game went on. Scoring chances were way too high against, and a lot of them were so easy, you know what I mean? They were so easy.
Did Max look a lot more comfortable compared to last year to you?
In the exhibition game when we got beat like 8-1, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had no issues with our goaltending tonight. I had no issues. I thought that those guys performed well. They were, I thought they did a good job.
One noticeable characteristic about a lot of the new players is there's a lot of speed now. Baker is beyond fast. Janssen, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it.
I don't even know. Elias Janssen is what I call him. But I mean, Dirk was after the game saying, I don't know what he called him.
Yeah.
Alicia Jan. I mean, I don't.
Elias Young.
Who are you talking about? Can you put that back? Give it a little bit of an English accent there, so I know who you're talking about.
Speed.
Yeah.
Matters.
I thought he played well.
Matters all over the ice. It's
Competes.
Yes.
Yeah. You notice the same guys I notice, and I mention those guys. And not only with their speed, they use their speed effectively within the game. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were running around and always chasing the play. They were around the puck, and that's what you want to see out of those guys. So again, you look at us. You look at our experience. I want to be at some point back to where we were with Blisser and all those guys, where we have a steady flow of veterans that you know what you're going to have going in, because you look at a lot of guys that we have. There's first of all a lot of sophomores on our group at both positions, forward and D, but especially at forward that have and in a couple of upperclassmen, with PD, that have really never. What I really wanted to see is a couple guys just take the opportunity. I thought that, I'm looking for more out of Blaze. I'm looking for more out of Bartle. I'm looking for more out of Petey. I'm looking for them to impact the game a little bit with their size and strength and things. But the guys that impacted the game were the guys that really played a deliberate hockey game and weren't letting the game come to them. They're trying to dictate the game themselves. And again, that's why I give full credit to Northern Michigan. I thought they laid it on the line. I thought they did a really good job and never gave up and really had us on the ropes at the end. So, good for them. You must have something. Just a second.
Sure.
Yeah. Jump right in. Don't let these people dominate you.
Well, they know a lot more about hockey than me. However, what does it mean to you as a coach and to the Michigan Tech program to have an exhibition game right off the bat against the rivals of Northern Michigan?
Yeah, the question is, how did you like, how is it to play at home in front of 4,100 people with the pep band playing there for the first time for your crowd and the Misfits going crazy and things like that, and it was awesome. They got to see what it's all about and feel that excitement and that enthusiasm, and there's no place like here. Dorothy, there's no place like here. This is a wonderful place, and we owe them the very best that we can have, and they always give us the very best they have. And I can promise you this: all it is with our players is them trying to figure out how to play. You know what I mean? Consistently, how to play. And I think the biggest thing to get, it was great atmosphere. It was a regular season, late season game atmosphere. I mean, there was cheering. It was wonderful. It was absolutely tremendous. What we're looking for out of our group is we're looking for the guys that have the ability to generate. Those guys need to be plus 10, plus 15 on the year, which means that they're 5-on-5 play. When the rubber hits the road and you're going, I mean, probably every NASCAR guy can probably put their foot in that gas pedal and give it down the straightaway. Where it happens is in the corner when someone's nudging you from behind and putting you up into the corner. Learn how to play in that traffic and dominate that part of the game individually and collectively. Then they'll be hockey players and we'll be a good team. And that will be our goal, to do that, to try to get guys not to be really good power play guys, but to be really good 5-on-5 guys that then get their 8-10 points on the power play. All of a sudden they're 35 point guys, 40 point guys. Brian Allen, guys we've had in the past here. So that's what we're looking for, and that's always the goal, is to help them achieve that. Great question.
Thank you.